Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k. It's the first video of the year. It wasn't supposed to be this video, we had another video planned, but we've had some news today from the Warhammer community webpage. So they brought out a meta watch for a balanced data slate, as well as some point value changes for all the codexes, and that of course includes our Necron codex. So I thought I'd go through that today, pick out some of the highlights and talk about how it's going to affect us as Necron players. Now they've gone on to talk about the new chapter approved book, which is Arcs of Omen, the Grand Tournament book in fact, but yeah, we're not going to talk about that so much today. I mean, they brought out the detachment, which we kind of already knew about. They've got a new stratagem and a few other bits and bobs, but until we've got a little bit more information, I'm going to leave that video for a later date so that we can talk about that in a little bit more detail. Now, as for the video today, first of all, let's get onto the balanced data slate, go down to the Necron part, which is on page 4, and it's only really the last bullet point that I can see that has any changes whatsoever. And the last bullet point says, change the secondary inductory sentence of the ancient dynasty rules to read the following. So unless you selected the vassal kingdom or eternal conquerors dynasty codes, you can then select an additional code from the custom code of, can't speak today, the circumstances of the awakening list. So basically what that means is if you are taking the custom code of eternal conquerors, which is the objective secured custom dynasty, you can't be taking any of the secondary custom dynasty codes from the circumstances of the awakening list. So what we used to do, we used to take OBSEC with Eternal Conquerors, then take the Relentlessly Expansionist custom code, which is the 6-inch pre-game move, and that was our pairing. We can't now do that, so it's kind of pushing us back towards the Nihilak dynasty if you want OBSEC, because you still get to use the stratagems and relics and all that good stuff. So yeah, they've taken that away from us in fact, and a little bit unfortunate, but it kind of also interacts with the secondaries. Now, I've not got information on the secondaries to hand. I know there is some, well, I think it has been released, I'm not sure, but there's some rumours, if you like, of the secondary objectives have changed for the Necrons, especially the ancient machineries. I don't think core vehicles can do those ancient machineries actions anymore. As well as the treasures of Aeons, I don't think you score as many points as you previously did. I think it's 2, 3 and 4 now, as opposed to, what was it, 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, you slightly get a little bit less, and yeah, we've taken a little bit of a nerf in terms of being able to score, as well as having the objective secured, as well as other custom dynasty codes. So that's the first part, that's the data slate part. There's not really much other than that. Then we get on to the points cost. I'm just going to get my new screen up. There we go. So first of all, nothing went up, which is a bit of a relief. None of our points costs went up. How many went down? There was about 10 or so that actually did drop, so we're going to go through them for you now. So the first one is quite a good one, which is the Necron Warriors. Now they were 13 points per model. They are now only 11 points per model, and of course you still need 10 of them for a unit. So instead of paying 130 points for a minimum unit, it's now 110. So that's pretty good. I like that change. I think that's probably where they should be. Just slightly above flayed ones, which are only 10 points, although you can only take 5 flayed ones as a minimum, which is actually quite good as well, but they're not troops. So yeah, 13 points going down to 11 points for the Necron Warriors, I think is a good change. The next one is the Death Marks, which I thought was another good change. They were 15 points, they are now 13 points, which I believe is cheaper than the Immortals. Let me just check, because I've not got the Immortals to hand. Where are the Immortals? Immortals are 16 points, so yeah, they are cheaper than the Immortals. So if you do have the objective secured dynasty, then yeah, you could have objective secured Death Marks, which are kind of like Immortals, but better in fact, with objective secured. So yeah, and for cheaper too. So 15 points, they're now 13 points, that's another good change. The Triarch Stalker, I'm a big fan of the Triarch Stalker. Some of you guys don't really care too much about the Triarch Stalker. It was 120 points, it's now 110 points, so a slight 10 point decrease there. Tomb Blades have got a slight decrease as well. They were 20 points, they're now 18 points. I don't use them enough, to be honest with you. They're not really something I use that often. I prefer something with a little bit more resiliency, especially if you're trying to steal objectives and things like that. But yeah, getting 2 points per bike, not too bad. If you're taking a mini unit of 3, that's only 6 points, but hey, whatever. Next we come on to the Triarch Praetorians, another unit I don't really use, you guys know that. They were 22 points, they are now only 20 points. Probably about right, I think maybe in fact a little bit less, they should be maybe 18 or something like that. But yeah, at least it's a decrease, can't complain too much. Then we've got the Doomsday Arc. 160 points it used to be, it's now 145. Not bad at all, 15 point decrease there. Surprisingly, the Canoptic Doomstalker didn't get a decrease. I mean, I find that quite weird. It didn't get the core keyword previously when, last year's Dataslate, we didn't get the core keyword on our monsters. And it didn't get a decrease either, so a little bit strange. But there is a reason why it has a decrease, and it's because of the Ghost Arc. The Ghost Arc was 130 points. It is now 115 points. So I like my Ghost Arcs. In fact, I'm doing one up right now. So I'm sort of midway into gluing that. I like my Ghost Arcs, and the Ghost Arcs have gone down because the Necron Warriors have gone down. Because the Ghost Arcs and the Necron Warriors were roughly the same sort of points in terms of 10 Warriors and a Ghost Arc. Ghost Arc is now 5 points more than the Necron Warriors. So yeah, it had to go down, so there's a 30-point upgrade if you want to upgrade the Ghost Arc to a Doomsday Arc. But of course you lose that transportation capability. Okay, so then we come on to the bigger stuff as well as the Forge World stuff. So we've got the Canoptic Acanthrites. I use these time to time, not often enough. I don't actually have the modules, it's normally a proxy job, but they were 40 points, they're now 35 points. I think that's okay. You normally want to take a max unit of 6 of them because they've got the pretty decent weapons, which are virtually melter weapons, aren't they? So yeah, saving 5 points per Acanthrite is pretty good. Then we come on to the Tomb Sentinel, 110 points previously, now 100 points. Not too bad. I mean, if you're playing with the Tomb Sentinels in the Cult of the Cryptek, they're pretty good. I've played them in that list before. They do a job. Onto the bigger stuff, which is the Necron Monolith. Everybody's favourite, if you like. Not so much competitively, but yeah, you know what I mean. Everyone likes a monolith. Monolith? Can't speak. A monolith. They were 300 points. They are now 270 points. So a nice 30-point decrease with our Necron Monolith. And we can, of course, put them into our new detachments that are coming out with the Arcs of Omen. The Obelisk is the exact same. It was 300, now 270. I did a video just before Christmas, sort of kind of defending the Obelisk. I don't think it's that good. I'm not saying it's great, but yeah, I think it's maybe on par with the Monolith. I think it's okay. It's okay, but yeah, 300 points, now 270. Yeah, maybe a little bit less would have been better for us, but 270 we can't complain at the moment. And Tesseract Vault was 400. It's now 360 points. I don't own a Vault, and I do need to get myself a Tesseract Vault. But yeah, I tend to play smaller 1k games, so I kind of struggle to fit a Vault into a list, to be honest with you. And then the final one is the Convergence of the Dominion, which is the fortification. Who cares, right? It was 100 points, it's now 80 points. I don't know why you'd take these things, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, nothing went up, which is pretty good. And yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see until we get our chapter approved book to actually start looking at some new combinations and some new tactics and some new synergy, as well as the missions. That's important. We need to start getting down the missions and working out what's the best way to play Necrons, really. So yeah, that's it from me today. I just want to give you that little update from, well, directly from Warhammer community, from myself. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with these point changes. Do you disagree? What other units should have got point changes? I think there's a few more in the list, or a few more in the codex that probably should have got a couple of changes. But yeah, I can't think of them at the top of my head. It's Canoptic Doomstalkers are definitely one that should have definitely got a drop. But yeah, I am starting filming some question videos, by the way, guys. So yeah, keep your questions coming in the rules question section of the Discord. Other than that, all I have to say is thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.